Hello and welcome everybody. It's not very often that I do limited content, but MH2 is once again live on MTGO, so I wanted to make a draft, and since I was gonna do it, might as well record it, right? So this is what we're gonna be doing today. Chainer is very good in the Red-Black Madness deck, which is a pretty powerful archetype. Otherwise, besides that, we have just a very bad rare, and Margrave's not great. Glinting Creeper is pretty solid if you're playing 5-color. Oak is pretty solid in the tokens deck, just an overall solid card. And then nothing else that I'm super excited about first picking, but I could see the Scurry Oak instead of the Chainer, but like Chainer is enough better that I think I'd rather go that route. Here we have, well, this is a pretty solid card in the Madness deck, and so is Bone Shards. Bone Shards is actually a pretty good enabler, but this is not only great in the Madness deck, but also great in the Reanimator deck. So because of that, this one turns to not wheel pretty often, so I think this is what I'm going to be picking up right now. Besides that, we got, well, as I was saying, this is probably the second best pick for our archetype, but this is a decent pack. Batterbone is a fine overall card. Glorious Enforcer, very good in the Reanimator deck specifically, that's black and white. Steel Dromedary, it's a card that I'm not particularly excited about, but it's playable in the tokens archetype, in the +1 counters archetype, that's the green-white deck, or it's playable in Affinity as well. Ethereum Spinner, pretty good in the tokens deck, that's blue and green, but it's overall a pretty good card in the 5-color deck as well. And besides that, the rest of the cards are not particularly great. Squirrel Mauve and Magus of the Bridge are the two rares. Both of them are pretty bad overall, but I'm fairly happy to pick up the Bone Shards right now. Alright, what do we got here? We got World Weary, which is a medium removal spell, but like the cards that discard are fine in this deck, because we're trying to get synergies with stuff that gives us value whenever we discard cards. Besides World Weary, we have none of the dual lands are particularly in our colors. There's also no need for me to really force these colors, right? Like I have 2 cards, but I don't see a powerful red card, and I don't see any particularly powerful black card. This is probably good enough for me to want, but honestly, like the best card in this pack is probably Captured by Lagax or Arcbound Bouncer, I guess. Like, this is not a great pack. The previous one was much better, obviously. This one is not particularly great. I'm probably going to be medium happy picking a World Weary here. But yeah, there's nothing really that we even want to wheel from this pack, like the Slasher, I guess, or one of the lands in case we splash. But green is not really a splash a color that you end up splashing this archetype. Okay, now we do find an actually good removal spell, Tragic Fail, 2 mana. -3/-3 to a creature, and in this particular archetype we're trying to actually discard cards from our hands, so the Hellbent happens fairly regularly, so for 2 mana basically kill anything in the entire format, which is pretty solid. Besides that, we have not too much. Gargadon is not a great card, sometimes it gets you, but it's not a particularly exciting card to pick up here. The best card in this pack, it's probably the Fail followed by Rift Sower. This card is nuts in the Affinity deck, but pretty much not even playable besides that, unless you have like a very, very big bomb or something. But yeah, Rift Sower is definitely the second card. But yeah, the best card in the pack is the black card, so we're obviously going to pick it. What do we have here? Okay, so here things are starting to get a little bit more interesting. So DRC, pretty solid. So far we have 3 spells, so DRC is looking quite strong. Mount Velos Manticore, a great card in this archetype, but we already have a 4-drop, and this is more likely to wheel, I think. So I think I'm going to take the DRC, and we have 1, 2, 3 cards that we're hoping to wheel. Faithless Altitude is playable, it's not particularly great, and Sudden Edict is more of a sideboard card than a main deck card, because there's just so many tokens in this format that Edict will rarely be able to get rid of the card that you really want to, unless you play it earlier. Like if you play it on turn 2 and you kill your opponent's 2-drop, that's like whatever. But yeah, happy to pick the DRC here. What's up next? Heat. Yeah, fantastic removal spell. Particularly goes well with our DRC. Besides the Unholy Heat, we have Gouge Zealot. This is a pretty solid sideboard card, which is interesting. When you're playing against the tokens like one of the either the decks that are trying to make Thopters or the decks that are trying to make either 1/1 squirrels or 1/1 spirits, the Gouge Zealot can actually be a pretty solid sideboard card, but obviously I'd much rather pick an Holy Hit, very efficient removal spell. Viashino Last Claw is fantastic. Yeah, okay, so now we're in business. Also, the Viashino being available this late is exciting to me. Like, I'm very excited to pick this card up as 7th pick. Probably means that nobody's in red-black, at least to my right. But yeah, pretty good card to pick up here. Besides that, the best card in the pack is Wave Sifter. This card is very, very strong. But you need to be in the tokens deck or one of the 5-color nonsense decks. And besides Wave Sifter, Disciple of the Sun is pretty solid, but the rest of the pack is not particularly. Loose Focus is okay. Okay, what do we got here? So we have Salvaging, which is begrudgingly playable, and Thorax Canticle, which is a sideboard card. The rest of the pack is not particularly great, so I think I'm going to pick the Ploy here, just in case we end up in 3-color. Like, this is a really, really good card in the Grixis archetype, and yeah, I think we can probably get some Mivas later if we end up here. But I'm just not excited to pick up that card so early. Here we find an interesting one. So if we pick up the Duel, this makes it so splashing blue, if we need to, is going to be much easier. Charger is medium card, and Tracker is pretty good, honestly, in our deck. Like, I feel like this is going to be a 3/3 menace fairly often, considering that we have, we're pretty early in the draft, and we already have 3 1-drops, 2 2-drops. So I still think I'm going to pick the Forge, but I would not fault anybody for picking the Tracker here. Interesting. So we can pick up a sideboard card, or we can pick up a card that's potentially going to be good for us. I think I'm going to go with Ethereum Spinner. I think it's that much better of a card than this. And we already have 2 cards that are going to trigger it, but then we can find like Mongrels and stuff like that. So this is just going to go to the sideboard, I think. Slasher. Okay. This may be playable. This is a pretty good sideboard card. I think Crack Open is fantastic in this format. I'm often main decking the first copy of this, but I think I'm going to go with Slasher here. I may even play this. Like, just a 5-mana 4/4 haste or 5/5 is pretty solid. Here, I guess we're going to take our pick at a sideboard card. So probably the Thorax Canticle. Wheeling Worldweary is really, really good for us. Discerning Taste, kind of whatever, but this is we're just, the pack's just winding down. I don't expect to get anything useful at this point. We have a very good start, honestly. We have a pretty solid start in black-red. We're very solidly black and red, and we have a couple of reasonable options for splashing in blue. So so far a pretty solid start for this draft. What do we have here? Flay Essence. Yes, this is a very, very good removal spell. We have some really good removal spells, actually. We have Tragic Fail, Heat, Bone Shards, Double Worldweary. I'm just noticing that we didn't wheel Gouge Zealot. I think I'm going to pick the Flay Essence, and I'm going to hope that we wheel Revolutionist. This card is absolutely fantastic for us, but Flay Essence is that much better that I think it's better for me to pick the Flay Essence here, hope to wield Revolutionist. And we can wield the Revolutionist, the Harmonic Prodigy, or the Gouge Zealot. So this is a Shaman of note. Yeah, so Harmonic Prodigy actually works really well in our deck. This triggers twice. Human Minion. Oh, so close. This is a Warrior. No, I'm going to take the Flay Essence, though. But yeah, so we can wield Harmonic Prodigy, Gouge Zealot, Revolutionist. This is overall a pretty solid pack for us. Pick 2. Whew, yes. Archfiend of Sorrows is one of the best commons in the entire set. So this is a 7-mana 4/5 flying, and when it enters battlefield, you sweep your opponent's board, and you even get to do it again because it has an earth. So sometimes you can discard it to like your Chainer or whatever. 5 mana, you get it, you swing for 4, you sweep your opponent's entire board. This card is really, really, really good. So super happy to pick this up. hoping to wheel either Cabal Initiate and Holy Heat, another dual land. Another good pack for us. But yeah, the Archfiend is just incredible for us. Yeah, this is not an incredible pack. We do get a Cabal Initiate, which is not nothing. It's a 2-drop. What I would really like to see is some amount of Mongrels. That's the 4-mana 4/3 that it has Madness for black and 2, and then if you discard a card, it gets +1/+1. So it's an enabler and a payoff for madnessing stuff. But yep, Initiate's pretty good here. Besides that, we have another Creeper, another Oak. Funny, like again, Creeper and Oak in the same pack. That's pretty cool. But yeah, nothing else particularly exciting. So we're gonna take the Cabal Initiate. Call it a day. Another World Weary, probably not where we want to be at this point. So I think I'm gonna take the Companion. It's a way to fix my mana. It's you know, potentially it's a place for me to put the counters from Slasher, or if I find the 3-drop, that's another place. It's also has some synergies going on in terms of being 2 types. So if I mill it with DRC, it enables my Delirium a little bit. So I think I'm gonna take Companion here over Gargadon, over Whelp, over World Weary. What is this? Okay, Giftblade Prowler. This is a pretty solid card. So what it allows you to do is, while you're discarding your cards for value, it would initiate with Lash Claw with a Chainer. It actually allows you to stay up on cards, or I guess stay even on cards would be more accurate. So happy to pick this up. It's medium in the archetype, but like I would play like the first one. Probably never want more than one, but Lightning Spear is another reasonable card here. We're trying to be an aggressive deck, and obviously this card is pretty aggressive. So, and another artifact to put into the graveyard for Delirium purposes, right? We already have 2 Delirium cards. So take the Prowler here. Yes, that's exactly what we're looking for. Hellmongrel. This is the card that I was talking about. Sad to see it alongside another Holy Heat, which would be a fantastic pickup for us as well. But this is just too important for what we're trying to do. So this gives us the not-so-curve of turn 2 Viashino Last Claw, turn 3 discard Hellmongrel and give it haste and attack, or turn 2 Cabal Initiate, swing, give it lifelink, get a 4/3. Yeah, Hellmongrel is fantastic. We're gonna play as many as this as we can get our hands on. And hoping to wheel either this or this. Both just like fine playable cards. Nothing that I'm too excited about. I guess I'm pretty excited about Holy Heat, but you know, Loathsome Curator I'm not super excited about. And I guess either one of the lands would also be good. Again, multiple types for Delirium are something that I'm interested in. Here, we don't really have anything going on in this one. Battle Plan is not as bad as you would think. Again, like it just being an enchantment is kind of okay value, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the 2-drop, which is bad. I'm not expecting to play this card. This is more for the Squirrel deck than for anything else, but I think that the upside of this is not particularly high. Greedy is also a somewhat interesting sideboard card. Tormod's Cryptkeeper is just a bad sideboard card, but you know, you kind of have to do what you gotta do if you're playing against Reanimator, I imagine. But yeah, Legion Vanguard is gonna be the pick here, which I'm not too happy about. Okay, so at this point I have 3 artifacts. So Whelp is somewhat reasonable to me. This fits better in my curve though. And this is better late game. This is close. If I had picked up the 3-drop earlier in the draft in pack 1, I may be a lot more excited about the Whelp. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick up the Flyer, I think, anyway. Again, 2 types for Delirium, blah, blah, blah. Here, I'm probably going to take this sideboard card. Wow, these are super late cards. These are premium cards in the red-white archetype. These are absolutely premium cards. Surprised to see them, both of them will. So this basically tells me that nobody's drafting red-white artifacts, which is one of my favorite archetypes, actually. It's the one that I win with the most. So I'm very surprised that both of these cards are here in the pack, but we're just gonna pick up the Sellout, put it in the sideboard. Yeah, here's the Charger. As you can see, like this card is not particularly premium, so just get it pretty late. We could take Mirror's Grappling, but we don't really have too many synergies going on with it, besides it just counting 2 for DRC Delirium, so Well, if we wanted one of those, we can pick it up now. Alternatively, we can pick up bottling golems. This is just a fine. I mean, it's not a fine. It's just a medium cyber card against aggressive strategies. Just like a 3/3 that trades for something and gains a little bit of life. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with bottle golems. Gargadon. I may actually end up playing this thing. It's not very good though. I don't like it particularly. Tyrant Scoundrel. Sure. This card only really works if you have multiples of them, but it's just not a very good card. Unless you're doing something specific with it. And here, Relay is not really for this kind of deck. I'm still gonna take the red card for signaling purposes. Oh, we wield Greed. Weird. Okay, what do we got here? Another Mongrel or an Holy Heat. These are the two pickups that I'm looking at here. I'm probably gonna go with the Mongrel. I think this card is very important for us. Priest of Felrites doesn't really do anything. How many removal spells do we have? I think we have a pretty decent amount. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have any of the Madness removal spells, which is a little bit sad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna take the Hellmonger because this card is just so good for us. We could try to pick up the Unholy Heat and hope to wield this, but I don't think it's particularly likely that we are going to wield it. So, what do we got here? Pretty medium pack. Bone Shredder is medium. Like, it kills a non-zero amount of cards, but it also kills a lot less cards that you wish it killed. Like, it's still probably going to be the pick here, but I'm not super excited about second picking this. The Captain is okay. It goes well with our Gargadon, but our curve is not particularly low. We have a couple of 1-drops, but I'm going to go with the Bone Shredder. Needs less moving pieces to work out. Revolutionist. Or another DRC. Huh. It has to be the Revolutionist, right? Although I guess that our curve is pretty awkwardly high. So maybe we're just supposed to pick up the second DRC. Like, this card, if we can enable it, is going to be really, really good. We didn't wield the Revolutionist last pack. So I have to assume that somebody's doing Grixis things. Or black-red things. Bridge would be another nice pickup, but I think I'm going to go with DRC because it just fits better in our curve. But Revolution is better value for sure. Okay, so we're going to pick up either one of these. I think the Viashino is better than the Initiate. It's just more aggressive. This just being a 4/4 is pretty solid, by the way. I just wanted to say that. This is, like, I'd be happy to take the Charmo if I think my curve is a little bit too high, so I'm going to take the 2-drop, but I guess there's an argument for us to take in the black, since we're mostly black, but I think the Viashino is the better card, though. Dual land, so that should make our mana pretty straightforward, and I don't really care about any of the other cards, so this is just a fine pickup. So we have enough playables at this point, but we had a couple of... Oh, this is great. Yeah, that's really, really good for us. So, Scopos Reaver, this is a fantastic card for us. We can get some value. This card needs to make it cheaper. Yeah, swinging for 4 is very, very strong. So, Scopos Reaver is a card I'm super excited about. Good pack, by the way. Some good cards here. Witness, Counterspell, Wave Sifter, Unbounded Potential. This card is absolutely premium in red, white, and green, white as well. Stormgod's Oracle, super strong in the blue-red X archetype. But yeah, this is the card for us right now. Oof! Another Flay Essence this late? Jeez. And a Cookbook. Nah, just Flay Essence. It needs to be Flay Essence, right? Just has to be Flay Essence. Cookbook is interesting, but we have enough enablers, right? Like, we have Cabal Initiate, double Lash Claw. We have double Hellmonger, Chainer. Yeah, I think the other good removal spells the better pick up here. This is the last pack, which is Womp Womp. It's not particularly great for us. I think I'm just going to pick up a land and be sad about it. But this sort of helps us. It just helps us enable Delirium. So if we mill this with DRC or whatever, It's gonna make things easier. Another charger, which I'm not particularly excited about playing, so I'm gonna put this one in the sideboard. Salvaging? Yeah, probably not gonna play this anyway. Another charger. I guess Fodder Tosser is not the worst thing ever. This is an interesting card in this archetype specifically. I think I'm gonna pick this up. Maybe I don't play it, but Torque is just doesn't do anything, right? So stick to Visionary. Another Greed. Let's take a Battle Plan actually. Second Scoundrel. Probably not gonna play that either. Okay, we have a pretty reasonable Black-Red Madness deck. Let's try to see how we can build this. Are any of the cards in my sideboard decent? They don't look very good. So this is a sideboard card, this is a sideboard card, and these are just sideboard cards. This is the only card that I could consider. Let's group creatures separately. Our curve looks pretty good actually. I was not super excited about it in the beginning, but now that I actually look at it, it looks pretty solid. I probably want to play 16 lands. And if I play 16 lands, I guess I don't want to play the Gargadon. Or I can just cut both artifacts, creatures. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just cut those two. And now, because like these are not, you know, pound for pound as powerful as I wish they were, right? It's more of a, you know, when they work with the modular synergies in red-white, they just end up, they move around the counters, and that's when they become very strong. But I think this is fine. I'm not excited about the Gargadon. That's the only card that I'm a little bit skeptical about. The Gargadon and the Fodder Tosser are the two cards that I'm just like, not particularly stoked about. With double DRC, I'm a little bit interested in playing this Faithless Salvaging though. It's a way for me to discard my lands. And we have double DRC and Holy Heat. And we have a bunch of dual type things, right? Like we have artifact lands, we have artifact creature, we have a bunch of enchantments, random artifact. So, So maybe add Salvaging, cut the Gargadon, do something like this, play 16 lands. Okay. And we only really need to draw 2 lands, because after that we have, you know, Companion and double World Weary to help us hit our future land drops, which is pretty nice. Yeah, this looks good. So let's start by color, and we're pretty strongly black, but our early game is red, so I think I'm gonna go, we can probably go even. So this would be 11 black, 7 red. No, let's do 10 black, 8 red. Yeah, our mana is pretty good. Our mana is pretty solid. All right, sweet. See you for round number 1. Okay, here we go. Man, this hand haunts me. Ship it. Much better. Yeah, this hand's very good. So let's keep this hand. And I think I'm gonna bottom the second Lash Claw. It's one of these 3. So let's just bottom the Companion. Let's just bottom the Companion. So turn 1 tap land. We're gonna be able to go turn 2 Lash Claw, turn 3 swing for 4 with Skopos Reaver, Skopos, whatever that is. Okay, here's my Viashina dude. All right, that's a pretty good card. So I'll discard the guy. Pretty straightforward attack here. Swing for 4. Next turn we're probably just gonna play the Viashino. I wonder if my opponent's playing more of an artifact deck or more of a 4-color kind of deal. It looks like they're just Jeskai. Dromedary. Okay. Right, so probably... Oh, they're swinging? Oh, I love that. Huh. Well, I'm gonna swing for 6 here. I think what I'm gonna do is... Let's play Lash Claw. And... I'm just gonna swing for 6 and see what my opponent does. Because what I may just do is I may just like cycle this, find the land, and then next turn play something and then salvaging away, so I don't have to discard a card. But I'm definitely interested in hitting my 5th land drop. That's where my curve kind of ends. So the other thing would be if my opponent just... if they just put the counter on the Thopter and they don't attack, that's gonna make things very awkward for me. Shikari, that's really good. That's very, very good. That's a super strong card. So I have to imagine they're gonna move a counter from the Dromedary into the Shikari. Ugh. So that's gonna make my attacks bad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think I'm just gonna go for... Do I want to go for salvaging here? I think I'm just gonna go for cycle here. Cycle for a swamp, and maybe we find... Oof, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I'm at 13, so we're gonna discard the card. Target a creature or planeswalker. Discard this. You're gonna modular probably into the flyer. And I'm just gonna salvage in here. Cabal initiate. One goes down to 2. And now I'm gonna take 7. But 7's not lethal. And my opponent could have the Helix card, and if they have Helix, I guess I still kill them, or they can't attack, either or. The question is, yeah, I'm probably gonna discard the initiate, and I'm just gonna cast the rebounding salvaging, I think. Wow. All right, we got there. Sweet, awesome. All right. Concerning taste, we have no artifact hate whatsoever, which is kind of rough considering there's a bunch of artifact hate in the format, but Multi 6 is still got there, so can't complain too much. Let's submit and play another game. Okay, what do we got here? Probably a reasonable hand. So we're probably gonna go. Oof, nice pickup. Nice pickup. Turn to Viashino for sure. Yeah. Actually, I guess this makes me want to go turn 2 initiate because I can attack and I'm kind of interested in trading. Okay. That is not a playable card in the format. Like, this is not a card that you're ever excited to put in your deck, so I assume that my opponent like pivoted maybe a little bit too late into the archetype or something like that, and they were missing a piece. Now the 2-1 thing obviously did not quite work out for us, right? Still gonna offer the trade and discard my Mongrel. Gain a couple of life in the process, which is getting rid of the flyer seems reasonable. Flay Essence is very good against modular, by the way. Okay, so it's a really bad card. So I think we're going to attack here, and I think I'm gonna cycle one of these for Swamp and just play the Viashino. If my opponent wants to raise, I'm okay with that. But next turn we can go DRC into Flay Essence. Should be pretty strong. We get a Surveil. Okay, opponent just passing here. We'll take 5. We'll take 5. Flay Essence just gain 2 life off the counters. They don't get to modular. Such a beating. Such a beating. Shattered Ego. Yeah, that's fine. Definitely okay with that. Also okay with that. So the only problem now would be if my opponent has the thing. Ooh, yes. Yes. Play my land. I could have discarded a card to give this haste, but I think swinging for 2, and next turn we get to do this. Well, I guess that we're probably gonna World Weary the token. But yeah, just we got rid of the bad card. We got the extra types for DRC. Like, obviously that's a really good turn for us. Oh, this is what they're doing for the turn? Yeah, that's not gonna work out for you, opponent. I'm not gonna trade. I'm more interested in just killing my opponent here. We would get, yeah. I'm just gonna see it. So like, yep, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, that was a really good showing for our friend DRC. Broken in limited just as much as modern, apparently. See you next round. Okay, what do we got here? Pretty medium hand, really. I think we need to be able to do better than this, right? This is better. This is definitely better. And I think I'm gonna bottom... Probably gonna bottom the heat. Like, I'd rather have my enablers in place. I may get punished by bottoming the heat because we may find ourselves in a situation where we have to actually cycle World Weary on turn 2. And then we can cycle into the red source and then cast the heat. But I'm really hoping that we don't do that. That's very good. Yep. I have to find the red source here. Gonna swing. Unless we got Prowler here. Maybe helps us regain our value here. Shardless Agent. Into what? Into Crawler. Awkwardly fantastic in the current board state. This card's not very good, but right now it's an absolute banger. Jesus. Well, here's a Prowler. Missing land drops here, not super exciting for me, but my opponent's gonna start turning their tokens into 4/4s. Just gonna get out of hand fairly quickly. Oh, that needs to die. That needs to die. Ugh. So, discard the card, kill that, discard salvaging, cross fingers, land? Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. Needed to find the land there. Find the land, play the Lash Claw. We can maybe start to pull a little bit more ahead, but as is, we're just going to fall too far behind to these 4/4s. This card is very strong. This card is very, very strong. So I have to turn this into a 3/3. There's the stupid land. Just going to pass the turn. I'm just going to discard Mongrel to the Cabal Initiate. Yeah, my opponent basically has 1/4 for every single turn. That's going to get out of hand a little bit too quickly for my taste. All their tokens fly, by the way, because that card is messed up. Pick 4. It's not looking good. Flay Essence. Okay. Huh. Doesn't quite do it, unfortunately, for me. So we Essence here. Swing. Essence there. That's 4 cards. So we're going to swing with these 2. Because I should have represented something else there. Yeah, this was just... Oh, my opponent's giving me the trade? Oh, sick. All right. Love it. So that's 1 more card. So this is going to turn into a 3/3 now next turn. Which is probably okay for me. I mean, my opponent has... They're going to continue spitting out 4/4s. So I just have to erase that. I really want to find Unholy Heat now. I think if my opponent gets greedy and continues to attack, we may be able to raise that. Maybe. Unholy Heat. It's not Unholy Heat. So, Flay Essence, that. Swing. Discard. Companion. And I'm only doing that to lifelink a little bit. I don't know how we get out of this, though. I don't know how we get out of this. Like, this is a sick combo. Flying 4/4s every single turn gets out of hand rather quickly, in case you didn't know. Ooh, they're not gonna make it 4/4? Okay, so whatever they're doing needs to be more busted than making it 4/4. Opponent does not attack. Okay, so I think I'm swinging with everything because it's not getting any better, and I need to turn these fodder tosser. Like, this is my win condition right now. These guys are not my win con anymore. Fodder tosser is my win condition. Oh no, don't have anything for me. Ugh, just take the damage. Okay, they took 6. Okay, that's good. Here's a fodder tosser. Oh no, I forgot that they gain life off the cookbook. Oh, I forgot that they gain life off the cookbook. Yeah, we can't raise this. Oh man, my entire game plan. My entire game plan. Exile target card from a graveyard. Doesn't do anything, right? That just doesn't do anything. Okay. Okay. Is my opponent gonna mess it up? They're gonna leave some blockers. Okay. And now they can turn the squirrel into a 4/4. Okay. They don't have a land. Deal 2 damage. Do we have any way to shock them? Not really. I'm gonna bring my opponent down to 2 and lose. That's so sad. Oh, I could have drawn I could have drawn... That would have actually been lethal, huh? The 4/5 devil. Like, if I had found the devil, I discard devil, flash it back, kill the squirrel, swing with all of this, and shock them. And my opponent's double chomping, and then I'm actually winning the race, I think. I think. But yeah, we didn't get there. Okay, opponent's got some very, very strong combos happening over there. Do I need to bring in Thorax Canticle? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be what saves me here. This card is so bad though. I just don't want anything to do with this card. I probably have to keep it though. Just because I need a random 2-drop. No! Oh, man, this hand would be so good too. Okay, this hand is business. This hand is hella business. Okay, so keep these. Keep this, and we're gonna send the swamp. Then we're gonna go turn 1 DRC, turn 2 DRC into tap land, turn 3 cycle. A token? Brutal. 1/1? Gets my 1/1? No. Okay, second RC, land. No attacks. Just please don't draw the turn 2 artifact, please. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So if we cycle here, I kind of really want to find a spell, huh? That is 2 types already, though. That's 2 types. Then we're gonna chainer. Okay. This only triggers an attack, so it doesn't really matter. That's rough. I just need a way to trigger these DRCs. Literally any spell will do it. Any spell whatsoever, I'm gonna feel very comfortable. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, interesting attack. Something doesn't do it. So this goes 5, I guess, and it has haste. So I guess that we can swing for 4 here. 4, yeah. Man, literally any spell, any spell whatsoever, and we're cooking. But I feel like I'm falling a little bit behind now. Sure. Basic land cycling. So one thing that we can do here is we can just cast anything. So I can discard something. Oh, please don't find it. Okay. Into Verdant command. Okay. So that's gonna exile the land. It's kind of fine, whatever. But what we can do, like, Chainer basically gives haste to everything. And any land or whatever that we find, oh, they gain life. Interesting. So now that's a much more real clock. But my opponent hasn't made food with this. Any spell. Nice. So we're gonna Tragic Fall there. Trigger some DRCs. And I'm basically gonna bin anything. Oh, wow. That's actually a pretty good draw. Yeah, I'll probably have to bin everything. Something creature? No. Okay. Opponent can get back their thingy. Now we discard this, but we don't Madness. We let it go to the graveyard, and we cast it from the graveyard so it has haste. And now we're gonna swing with both of these. That's a decent amount of damage. Maybe I shouldn't have been this. Like, this is such a good draw because, like, it triggers Darcy twice, and my opponent found it. Yeah, so take 5. That's brutal, man. That's brutal. If they hadn't found it, I think that we were in very good shape. So I need to find a removal spell. If I find removal for the 4/4 beast, maybe we're able... Ugh. So the plan there was to find removal for the 4/4 beast so that I could then attempt to force my opponent to make some chump blocks. But as is, that's just game. Because I can't even kill my own thing to... Like, I don't have... If I had, like, an artifact creature in hand or something, I could fly the DRC so I could chomp. But as is, my opponent just swings for lethal and I die. Man, that's so brutal. Oh, I feel like we were so close. We were so freaking close. But the Multu... It was just, like, too bad of a mulligan. It was just too bad of a mulligan. Yep. Yeah, that would have worked. That would have worked. Yeah. We do have a lot of removal spells, so we got a little bit unlucky there that we found nothing. But yeah, we just saw the power of this card when you have enough enablers. Like, this card is super medium if you don't have the enablers, but once you do, like, once you have your Squirrel Sanctuaries and your random token producers, like, all of a sudden this card is just so powerful. Like, giving your tokens flying is so busted. All right, see you for the last round. Last round of this beautiful draft, and this is not a great hand. Ugh. keep this hand. Probably gonna bin the bone shards. Second flay essence. We're really gonna need to find a land here. Go DRC, go. Find me the lands that I'm missing. Land, easy. Beautiful. Beautiful. So if I bin that, no, I can't bin this. I'm gonna leave it on top. So that's dead. Now we cycle for a duel, play the duel. Like if I bin this and I don't find the land, like that's just so bad. Now if we want, we can Prowler. But yeah, very, very happy that my opponent played something that was worth and holy heating there. Jade the Venger. Just gonna play Prowler here. Say go. Opponent can't really attack. What do they have? Wonder? Okay. It's neat. That's a good one to exile. Being that, don't mind if I do. Swing. And I think I want one more land. Yeah. Yeah, we got the Prowler going. I think it's fine to have land. So basically anything that they... So my best draw is probably the Mongrel. Yeah, far and away the Mongrel. Oh yeah, that's gonna die. So probably regardless of what I draw. Oh, okay. I just draw that, I guess. So Tragic Fail, Lowness. Nice. Value. So with DRC. So my opponent can't play X2s. Maybe they are gonna. I think my opponent did not read the card in my graveyard there. Opponent. Zwing. Yep. It's a pretty good card. It's a pretty good card. Oh no, opponent has the Spitter? This is one of the most egregiously powerful cards in the entire format. Like if you have any way of enabling, and there's a ton of way of enabling, just like making extra random tokens, they just buffs all of your random squirrels, turns them into massive threats. So definitely good information that my opponent gave me there. Not that there's anything that I can do, but oh, there's anything I can do. Ooh, okay, I'm into it. Probably send the Fodder Tosser. Shout out to DRC in that game. Jeez, so much value. What do we got here? Okay, let's keep this. And I guess we're gonna see what we draw. But I may simply... Elder's pretty good. If I was gonna say, if I find another land, I'm just gonna... If I find any other land, I'm not gonna play this because I kind of don't really need to go past 4 lands. And my thought process there was I'd rather have this in the graveyard because it's an artifact. So Jade Avenger actually doing some work here. Jade Avenger confirmed OP. Scurry Oak. Okay. So I'm gonna pass the turn here and probably play Mongrel on my opponent's next turn. I'm trying to not have to do anything here and just to simply wipe my opponent's board there. Okay, that did not attack. Discard. Mongrel. Rawr. Haste. Another land. That's not great. So if I attack, probably gonna... kind of want my opponent to like have to hold up mana here. And next turn we're just gonna Archfiend and clear their board, swing for a lot. Crucial. Yeah, Crucial's pretty good. Crucial's quite strong. Alright, Avenger's fine. So this has haste regardless, so we can just do this. And I think we're just gonna swing everything. Opponent does get to trade there, but they take 9, 13. 13. Trying to think if I want to buff more, but I think this is just one and place one of the lands. 3 unknown cards. Obviously they didn't get to draw a card with the Elder, which is they got 2 basics, but it's a lot of mana. Okay. What is it you got, opponent? Reinforce. Okay. Why would my opponent do that main phase? Do they want to fight? Maybe they have the Proliferate Fight spell. It is the Proliferate Fight spell. Okay, so if I discard all 3 cards, we're gonna trade. I feel like that's gonna happen regardless, so I think I'm gonna do it. So let's just do it, and then I can get back the charger. Oh no, this is 5 other cards, so I guess I can't get back the charger. Okay, so now it's my mongrel versus my opponent's squirrels. Can get back this, make it a flyer. Probably want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flying counter. Here we go. So if my opponent wants to put a bunch of tokens on the squirrel, I have a 3-turn clock here. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. All right. So now my opponent needs to chump block. So they have nowhere to put the counters from the Crew Shock now. And they can spend their turn gaining life, but I also spend their turn attacking them. So, sweet. Nice. Got a nice little 3 and 2. 2 and 1, sorry. Very, very close game, but I like this deck. It was pretty nice, pretty straightforward. The matchup that we lost, my opponent had, they definitely had the better deck, and we mulliganed both times, and we were just, both times we had outs, which is very, very cool, right? Like when you can kind of maneuver yourself in a position in a limited match where you're still drawing live, it's always pretty exciting. I love that about limited. But yeah, we saw the power of this card. This card is messed up. We saw the power of the Chainer, Flay Essence, an absolute fantastic removal spell as well. But this was, I would consider this to be like an above average red-black madness deck. I would have liked to not have to play this thing or this thing, but besides that, I think that my removal suite was very, very good. I think that my removal suite is definitely above average, and my overall power level is pretty reasonable. But I guess I wouldn't say it's above average. It's just a solid red-black deck. But yeah, I just wish I had access to some sideboard cards. You know, like there's a bunch of artifact removal, which is very important to have access to in this format. And I feel like we didn't have that, and the matchup that we lost, we just lost to, you know, the busted artifact. So kind of rough there, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like, subscribe button, and let me know in the comments, because I'm always interested to see if people want to see limited content, because it's not what I usually do, but it's something that I love, particularly when it's this format specifically. So if you did, make sure you let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye bye.